I'm so proud to be presenting the Richard Harris Award to the incomparable Emily Watson. Yes, please. Some talent is so strong, it's undeniable. Emily's performance as Bess McNeil in Breaking the Waves felt like a new language for cinema, and it still feels like that today. And to be Oscar nominated at all is an impressive achievement, but to be Oscar nominated for your first film role is nothing short of extraordinary. But Emily deserved that and more, and anyone who has seen that film will have recognized that greatness immediately. From a wildly devout 1970s Scottish lady to the lover of an IRA member and boxer, Emily's next move was obvious: a legendary cello player. And her second Oscar nomination for Hilary and Jackie demonstrates her remarkable versatility and her commitment to her roles. It also made her the second ever winner of the BIFA for Best Actress. Talk about setting the standards, ladies and gentlemen. And just to look at the directors who have chosen to work with her: Lars von Trier, Robert Altman, Chloe Zhao, Paul Thomas Anderson, Tim Burton, Steven Spielberg. These are the best storytellers we have, and they knew that they could rely on Emily to bring the most vibrant, beautiful life to their tales. And her fellow castmates, Christian Bale, Daniel Day-Lewis, Keira Knightley, Adam Sandler, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Felicity Jones and Cillian Murphy, and the list just goes on and on. All outstanding talents, all able to be as good as they were because they were matched by one of our great actors of all time, one of our great, great actors. I had the great privilege of working with Emily twice, on God's Creatures and on Hamnet. And a very special memory for me personally was making God's Creatures with Emily, for which she was BIFA nominated. To spend time watching Emily work is a privilege, but there was a moment when I think I saw what it meant to her. We were shooting a scene in a bar where we were supposed to be enjoying ourselves, and the camera was on Emily, and I could see what it meant to her. She turned completely white. I reached across the table to check if she was all right, and she turned to me cold and she said, "Don't be fucking nice to me." Yeah, I didn't laugh. She was totally vulnerable, open, and totally frightened. And after that, we went outside, and I could see that it all came from this deep sense of care and this emotional expenditure. Because you see, Emily gives us her entire heart and leaves it in front of the camera for us to watch every single time. And I learned from watching her that there was a cost to that, to her work, but that there was also no accident to her brilliance. Emily, over the course of her career, has broken her heart into tiny pieces to mend our own and left us with performances that are impossible to forget. So let's enjoy looking back at the incredible work Emily Watson has given us so far. Please welcome to the stage my wonderful colleague and friend, Emily Watson.
Gosh. Well, the good news is, as I can see the autocue, I thought I wouldn't be able to read it because my eyesight's so terrible. That's really overwhelming. Thank you so much. And Jamie and Paul, thank you so much for your very kind words. Jamie, I've spent time with your brother, Jared, and I've heard wild tales of your dad. And I think it's very fitting that we're here tonight celebrating our independence, invoking his name. And Paul Mescal, ladies and gentlemen. I've had the drop-dead privilege of playing this phenomenally talented, lion-hearted actor's mum, not once, but twice. And that's quite greedy, I know. Paul, you made it sound like I had some sort of plan, but as any actor in the room will know, I didn't. Everyone will know that being an actor really is like waiting in a taxi rank. When you eventually get to the front of the queue, you just have to take the ride that's there. I'm sure I'm not alone in saying that my first ever cab driver was William Shakespeare. who of course gave all of us the very best advice that we collectively in this room have ever had or will ever have. Hold a mirror up to nature. And I've been lucky enough to encounter many souls along the way who've really swum upstream as students of humanity and attempted to do that. Robert Altman said that making a movie was like building a sandcastle on the beach. When you're done, you sit down in a deck chair and you have a beer and you watch the tide take it away. Lars von Trier said, "When I make a movie, I want it to be a stone in your shoe." Chloe Zhao invites you profoundly, directly, to address your inner self. Who am I and who am I to this story? And there have been so many of them along the way. Crazily fearless, challenging, wildly original, inventive directors, writers, actors, actresses, collaborators. And they are my fan family, and I owe them absolutely everything. And I think the most significant amongst my collaborators has actually been my husband, John. And I'm very lucky that we've been able to investigate this world together. And I guess that kind of brings me to you lot. Independent, creative, critical thinkers. And you are actually going to save us. When most of the stories that are being told to us, about us, or by us, are all driven by a rapacious, hungry algorithm. The awkward truth of the stories that you tell, they are our life support. And I know that you're all here in competition with each other, but this gathering is really unique because you all own your own soul. You put the stone in the shoe. And this is our office party. You know, I started in independent film back in the 90s, and that's an era which many of you lot went back there and you would just go, that is so fucked up. But it was also a time when creative protest had, in a small part, in a small way, helped to end apartheid and bring down the Berlin Wall. And what you do really can help change things. But we are a very, very fragile ecosystem. So what you have to do is you have to reach out to those coming behind you. And you have to build relationships with younger colleagues, less certain of their path than you are. And that is actually the most rewarding part of the job. And it will ensure that we can help keep holding that algorithm to the fire. It's standing in this room and getting a sense of the incredible talent that is fermenting in front of our eyes. It's such a deep privilege to be getting this award and to be here standing addressing you all. And I just wish you all luck and strength and joy with this journey, because it truly is amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much.